Greetings, my brothers and sisters. This is a continuation of Soledad, the summer of '85. You know, I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I got myself caught up into another incident. You heard about the story between the bounty hunters and the bloodlines. Well, I wasn't really expecting that to happen, but once it did happen, I had to go down with my homeboys, you know, and I can actually say that we actually took turns fighting each other. Me and Outlaw D, we got into it, and we squared off behind Papa T, because Papa T, once I tried to rush Pistol Pete, not Pistol Pete, but Miller Gangster Pete, I tried to blindside him, and he turned around and rushed me. So therefore, I had to try to put a table in between us, and as I was doing that, Big Papa T from Bishop came from behind me and blindsided me and hit me in the head 2 times. It didn't hurt. It was just the principle of the matter. I had to retaliate as soon as he did it. So what he did, he backpedaled all the way to the end of the building up under the tier. And he didn't think I was going to go back there with him. So when I went back there with him and squared off with him, that's when Outlaw D jumped in the way in his defense. So what can I do? So I just had to take it out on Outlaw D, and I fired on him, and I felt comfortable with that. So I stepped back, and once I stepped back, here come Outlaw D towards me, and that's when Silky Blood come out of nowhere like a superhero and just tackle him to the ground against the doors of the cells and just start working on him all the way till the police came. He just worked him. He blinked out on him, and I got away, and everybody got busted except me and Miller against the Pete, because we blown inside the wings. So, that episode right there was kind of bitter, but, I tried to extinguish it by, when I was there from the beginning, before Reno got there, I had control of the yard, basically, because I made peace with all the bounty hunters and the bloodlines and the UBNs. I had everybody at peace with each other. Because when I hit the main line, I heard a lot of negative things, that there was no unity. So I called a meeting within a week time. I called a meeting, and we had a meeting, and we came to a conclusion that there's going to be discipline issue if individuals don't know how to conduct themselves as so-called soldiers. So anyway, things start going kind of, how can I say, it started getting kind of hectic because individuals was on a superior trip, far as once Reno hit the line, he was thinking that I'm supposed to automatically fall behind him. But it don't work like that with me. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I had to test his hand to see where he was thinking. So I had to kind of like hang out with the bounty hunters for a minute, and he didn't like that. He thought that I'm supposed to just fall in line. I'm not nobody robot. I don't fall in line behind nobody, especially if you did something negative already that I don't like from Tracy. We had a little thing where he let his homeboys, Tommy Joe, get away with an incident of running out. You know what I'm saying? And didn't discipline him. So I still had them ill feelings also. But anyway, what had happened was he ended up in the hole because he was only on the main line for 2 or 3 days. He ended up in the hole because I just say someone dropped a kite on him, and that's what happened. And he was sending kites to people to send to me. And when I read one kite, he was trying to say he don't want no UBNs and no bloodlines being cellmates. And he don't want no UBNs and bloodlines eating or socializing or whatever. This dude came here in Soledad Central just to cause disturbance. And I took the note, tore it up, and threw it in Hype face. Yeah, Hype from Ludus Park, he was a puppet. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, when I threw it in his face, told him, man, I'm not finna have nobody do none of this. We all bloods, and we gonna be bloods. And that's the bottom line. Well, anyway, as you know, that the word got back to Reno, and he tried to put a hit on me, and it backfired. Because it's like this, man. Even though I wasn't worried about getting stabbed, I got homeboys that were very, very offended behind that for the simple fact because they didn't like it anyway. They felt that I was hanging out with busters. That's how they felt. But I told them I was in Tracy with these guys and they was real soldiers. So I had feelings positive and the bounty hunters had negative feelings. But hey, what can I say? So the end of the moral of that story is that I guess some of your comrades are your comrades. And I have to actually say that I felt blessed to have real comrades on my team. And I would actually let you know another incident that happened dealing with Soledad North because I ended up getting rolled up and didn't know who dropped a note on me, but they said I was the one that caused the problem between the bounty hunters and the bloodlines, and they didn't feel comfortable with me on the yard. So the administration rolled me up and put me on the Soledad North yard, the 2 yard. And when I got there, I seen some bloods that was in Central with me, the other prison across the street, which is Central, the biggest one from Soledad. Uh, I seen Green Eye and a couple of more Damus that I knew from Soledad Central. He had about like 5 of them over there, and we was all chilling, doing our thing. Until one day, Green Eye had a red flag hanging out his pocket, walking around the yard, I guess, and the Crips didn't like that. I guess they had us outnumbered because we probably only about 7, 8 deep, and they probably was about like 30 deep or 25 deep. And I guess they feel they can push up on Green Eye. So we had a meeting with Green Eye about that, and we asked him, "Bruh, it's your call. You can do what you want to do. You can either tuck your flag or you can keep your flag." Me personally, I didn't wear flags. I just wore red slingshots, red shorts, red and white socks, white Converse with a red and white hat. You know what I'm saying? I was just red and white down. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't wear flags. I felt like at the age of 23, 24, I felt a little bit too old for that. But I did have one brand new burgundy rag that I had in my cell that I just kept for, safekeeping. Brand new. Never wore it, never unfolded. So anyway, Green Eye decided to tuck his flag. Green Eye from Inglewood family. He tucked his flag. And I was very disappointed at him. But at the same time, he's his own man. So I can't be responsible for what he feel. If he fear that and he don't want to cause no problem, hey, I supported him because I wasn't going to let nothing happen to him over that because he tucked his flag. That was his decision. I wouldn't have did it, but that was his decision. Well, anyway, I guess the Crips felt they won a victory off of that right there. So I just kicked back and watched the scene, see how everything was going to fall out. Until one day, another blood from Soledad Central got transferred over to our yard. His name was Fritz. Now, Fritz was a big heavyset guy, and he had a red flag tied on his head, and he was pushing his cart across the yard, and automatically, about 3 or 4 Crips got on his bumper and was telling him what he can do with his red flag and what he can't do with his red flag, and this man is heading for orientation. So I got kind of disappointed or upset because I felt they was, kind of like pushing up on my boy, and I know him from Soledad Central, and here he come now getting sweated by these Crips, and I felt, okay, let me step up and see how this gonna go. But anyway, what had happened was while they was hoop-banging on my boy Fritz, while he was on his way to orientation, which is in my building, they just put you on orientation in your cell and see how things gonna go. But they moved him in my building. So he was right across away. He was on the other side of the tier from me. And when he had all his property inside his cell, the Crips was all on his door, like 4 or 5 of them, telling him, yeah, when you come out, what you can do and what you can't do. And I walked right up on them all, right between them, damn near pushed him out the way and told Fritz, check this out, bruh. You can do what you want to do. You can do exactly what you want to do. You can wear your red flag. You can wear whatever you want to. These dudes ain't running nothing. And they all looked at me, the Rips, and tell me, well, you won't wear no red flag. You won't even do it. And I got like, what? Is y'all crazy? Okay, when lunchtime come, I'm going to show y'all if I'm going to wear my flag. And so it became a thing now. Now, I got to do what I got to do, man. And what did I do? And when lunchtime came, I took my burgundy flag and tied it on my head and went to the yard and went to the kitchen and they threw a nutty. They act like that, you know what I'm saying, I was a runaway slave and they had to just, catch me or something. So I guess they, figured that, hey, okay, if he bold enough to do that, you know what I'm saying, we bold enough to hoop bang on him. So next thing you know, I get into it with him on the yard and my partner from San Quentin, 1979, yes, with Bitter Dog Bruno, Weebo. You have another guy I hung out with. His name was Joe D from Atlantic Drive. And him and his road dog and some more rips, they came up and was talking about take off my flag. And I was telling Joe D, his homeboy doing all the talking. So I was telling him, hey, tell your homeboy to take his flag off. So his homeboy was who banging on me, talking about I'm not taking nothing off, and you gonna take that off, or we're gonna have problems. And I was telling Jody, man, you better talk to your peoples, man, for real. I don't know him, but I know you, and man, you got a good report, and you need to talk to this guy, So this guy, whoever his name was, I ain't gonna even go into his name, but I would just say Jody's right-hand man. He was like at least 1 or 2 years older than me. And he was pushing up on me right in front of Jody, and Jody was trying to act like he was supporting, for us not to fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say he was supporting his homeboy, but I understand how the politics go with that. He's not going to take his homeboy. He's not going to take my side against his homeboy. So now here we are, we're in the middle of an argument. And I'm telling this homeboy, I do what I want to do. You can't tell me what I want to do. You take off your flag, I take off my flag. And his homeboy thought it was a real joke. He really acted like it was a real joke. Like, yeah, he was shocked. Like I asked him to take off his flag. So anyway, to make a long story short was this, what happened, man. I kind of felt that something was going to happen in the building because he was in the same building with me. And it was the summertime. And at the same time, I felt I had to put my back against the wall when I was in the day room watching television. I had one of my little homeboys with me, but he didn't gangbang. You know what I'm saying? He was just a civilian from the Nicholson Garden. And he knew something was up in the air. So I was just, chopping it up with him. But I still had my back against the wall. But I'm looking towards the television. And I would say within 15 minutes, man, they creeped up on side me. Yeah, I say they. Him, Jody's homeboy, creeped up on the side of me, blindside me. He hit me so hard, I said little stars in the back of my head. I really did. Yeah, he flashed that light in the back of my head and knocked the little dental work loose, right? And I knew it was him when he fired on me. So when I grabbed him and we started trading punches, he locked up with me and then snatched my flag off my head and he walked away with it. And when my vision came more clear, I see that he had at least about 3 or 4 more Crips with him as he was walking away with my red flag. So I say, okay, I'm going to follow behind him and see can I get my red flag back. So I'm asking him, man, can I have my red flag back? And he making mockery. You're not getting nothing. I took that and woo, 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 woo. So I said, okay, it's all good. He went out to the yard because they had night yard during the summer of 85. So anyway, I just waited till the unlock came and I knew where his cell was. He had his whole cell decorated out with nothing but blue flags. So when the unlock came, hey, I went into his cell and grabbed one of his flags, stood right in front of his cell on the 3rd tier, and I looked down while he was coming in from the yard. And he looked up from the bottom floor towards me, and I hollered his name. And when he looked up, I lit his flag on fire and dropped it and watched it burn all the way till it hit the ground right in front of him. Oh, the Crips went crazy. They thought I had to be a nut. So what had happened was they wanted to set it up where me and him wanted to go in the cell together on the 3rd tier, on my side of the tier this time. So, because he wanted to get his payback that quick. Even after he done fired on me and knocked my dental work loose, he felt by me burning his flag, he had to get another one in. So anyway, they put him in a cell waiting for me. And as I was getting ready to go in the cell, an officer saw me and told me to get back on the 2nd tier. So that incident was over with. You know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody want to go to the hole. So we left that alone right there for that day. Well, anyway, I still felt kind of bad that he did my dental work like that. And he blindsided me like that. So what did I do? I had a North Daniel partner from San Jose named Snoopy. And, you know, their flags are red and our flags are red. So we had a relationship on just out because we both was on the red team. And I asked him for a weapon. And the weapon that he gave me was fashioned like an ice pick. And oh my God, I felt like, hey, I felt like I Spy or some type of a superhero because I sure got to do what I got to do with it, you know. But anyway, he told me one thing when he gave me the blade. He said, "Are you going to use it?" And I told him just like this: in 3 days, I'm going to knock him down. And he gave me a handshake, and I walked away. And I will tell you the honest God truth. I waited for 3 days. And on the second day, I got all the Bloods together. And we had a meeting. Smokey from Peastone was there. Diamond from Pyru was there. I think he was from like the Inglewood Pyru. And who else was there? Green Eye was there. Uh, it was about like 10 of them there. And we having a meeting discussion on what I'm going to do. So I'm letting them know what I'm getting ready to do. And it's a head up thing. So don't even worry about it. Don't get involved. Just watch the show. Because I'm going to handle my business during the breakfast time at the weight pile. I'm letting them know it's going down on the weight pile in the morning. Because I know that's where dudes like to be at, driving his iron. My new enemy who sucker punched me. Yeah, I knew he was going to be on the weight pile that morning. That was his routine. I didn't do morning yard. So they wasn't expecting me to come to the yard because I didn't even do breakfast. I come out during lunchtime and only lunchtime. That's when my program started. So I didn't wear no red, no nothing. I had my blue jeans on and everything, you know, and I'm having a meeting with the Bloods, and out of nowhere, here this guy come, the one that sucker punched me, Joe D, homeboy from Atlantic Drive, came up and he wanted to talk. And I left my circle and I went and asked him what's up. And he asked me, he heard that I'm supposed to be doing something to him. I had the knife in my pocket. I could have stabbed him right there. But I had to play him and tell him, man, I don't know what you're talking about. I told you everything was cool and everything is cool. So he went for it. And you know what? Hey, I shook him and threw him to the left like I supposed to do. So when that morning came, I went to breakfast. And I had all blue on. Blue steak coat, blue jeans, and I had my boots. No red. And a blue beanie cap. People didn't even know who I was, but the ones who I let know that I was coming out in the morning to handle my business. So as soon as I got through eating breakfast, I posted up by the canteen. And the canteen is about like 25, 30 yards away from the weight pile where the Crips be driving at and where the Bloods be driving. They're iron. They got a weight pile. And their iron pile is right next to each other. The Crips have one side and the Bloods have another side. So the Bloods, they seen me over by the canteen posted up because they knew what time it was. But the Crips was in the blind. I'm not focusing on all the Crips. I'm focusing on this one Crip. You know, and that's the one that was real close with Jody, his homeboy. Well, anyway, what ended up happening, I was timing how many reps they was doing. And they was bringing like 10 reps in a set. So they were spotting each other also. So I waited till it was his time to spot, and that's when I took off. And by the time I reached him, I got so close up on him, when I hit him, caught him right in the side, and he yelled a little bit. And then I came around the front, hit him again in the chest, and the piece kind of like bent just a little, and I kept it moving because the gun tower was right there, and they didn't see what I did. So when I kept it moving, you know, dude, he was checking himself as I was walking away, and he was leaking real bad. So I'm trying to get away from the scene of the crime, man. I'm not trying to stay nowhere near this guy. But I guess he was so mad and frustrated when I got on the other side of the field, of the yard, he come walking real fast or jogging, trying to catch up with me, like he wanted to fight me in front of everybody. I'm not trying to fight this guy. I'm trying to get away. The man got blood coming out of his body, and I'm trying to get away to put this piece up, and I can't even find a place to hide the piece without him following behind me. Well, anyway, I got enough space in between us, and I put the piece in the trash can by the canteen. And my area that I worked in was the yard area where I had to, work with tools like garden hose and stuff like that. So I went and got me a garden hose and posted up by the canteen. And the Crips on the weight pile didn't like what I did. So as they start acting like they wanted to approach me, I walked up towards them like, come on with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to crack somebody with this garden hoe, and they see that. So they all backed away and went back to the weight pile. And I'm talking about muscle bound dudes. You know what I'm saying? But they seen that I had something to deal with them muscles. But anyway, I get in an argument with this guy. He leaking, and he talking crazy to me, telling me that when he catch me on the streets, he gonna kill me. He gonna come to the Nickerson Garden and kill me, and all type of things. And I'm kind of like asking him, man, why won't you go to the doctor and stop the blood? Why are you over here trying to, act like you trying to get me caught or something? So he cussing me out and everything. And the canteen man overheard the conversation, man, and let the canines creeped up on us, man, and they gathered him up and gathered me up, and they seen the blood all on him, and Jody was standing with him as he was talking crazy to me. So they told Jody to go one way, and they took the guy who was stabbed up in the side, and took me to the office, and they made me strip down. They seen that I had red all up under my blue state clothes, and they locked down the whole prison. And they gave me attempted murder case, and they sent me to Soledad Central and put me in the hole in O-Wing. And I'm in O-Wing, and I'm wondering what's going to happen. How is I'm going to deal with this situation? They telling me that I got attempted murder now that I'm fighting. And one day I was going to the showers, and I was on the bottom tier, and the side of the hole I was in was BGF and Bloods together, and the other side was nothing but Crips. But they let this guy, they had put him in the hole too, but he was in hospital clothes. And he was in the showers on top of me at the same time when I was at the shower under him, and I hear somebody cursing, and I look up, and it's him. And he telling me, MF this, MF that, I'm going to court on you, and I'm going to tell them this, I'm going to tell them that. You ain't finna make it out of here. You might well just get comfortable, because I'm going to court. And I was asking him, well, why are you going to court on me, brother? Why? He don't want to hear nothing. All that brother talk, he ain't trying to hear nothing. He telling me that he's going to court. Now, I was scared to death. I'm not going to lie. I never had nobody do me like that. Never in life. A gangster telling me he's finna go to court on me, and I couldn't believe that was happening in my life. Only thing I could do was just wait it out. And I would say that I stayed in the hole, in Soledad Central hole, O-Wing, for about 3 months. And I would say they came back and gave me a DA reject and sent me to San Quentin prison. And I felt like I beat that, even though they sent me to San Quentin and I was in there with all the gladiators. That is another story about San Quentin prison. This is during the time when the BGFs and the Bloods, 415s, were all together versus the Vanguards, the Northern Mexicans, and the Crips. And we all on one yard together. And we had to get along with each other. But there was a lot of politics going on. Even though we had enemies such as the Emmys and the White Boys, the politics was still going on, even on our yard. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always people that favor people. It's like family members. You have a brother that might favor mama, and you might have a sister that favor daddy. Mama and daddy get in an argument, guess what? the daughter gonna take the father's side, and the brother gonna take mama's side, and that's how it goes in families sometimes. And we was all like on the same team together, but at the same time, politics always emerge. And I would tell you this for a fact: I'm going to tell you about the politics that emerge, and it's going to blow your mind because everyone just don't know eternal affairs. And I'm going to leave you with that. God bless you and peace out. Black Power.